one more thing I wanted to mention is Guruji, if Guruji comes to your house, he's got a mission also. There's something he wants to part with to those people, whoever is coming there. So when very blank actually. Yeah, evenings he would tell us to take him to a crowded places. Then we would take him to the mall, and that time Guruji and Guruma used to come, and that once in the mall in the parking lot we saw a limping dog. The dog's feet was not on the floor. It was having
Dragging
some
him.
issue in the feet. Then Guruji, I remember while walking, Guruji just did this very very fast. I'm doing it very slowly. He just did that, and the dog started going fast. In fact, running around, I would say. Then I looked at Guruma, Guruji ne diya na healing like that, immediately she also got it. I wanted to ask her, Guruji did something. So she gave me the answer. So likewise, then he will go to the mall and see crowded people standing around. He would literally heal everybody, through his eyes. You would see. And suddenly he will question, that lady is there, so kya problem hai batao. Like that, Guruji, one thing, what our observation is, I don't think he wasted any time. He would utilize every time for something or the other, either for inspection of, materials, where juices, whether it is there, or, something or the other. He would always, or he would go walking. And while going walking also, he does healing.
I've seen him
Oh God,
keeping
like,
his hand the liver and walking. He used to while walking, and he walks very fast. I walk very fast, but I realize Guruji walks faster than me.
fast.
He walks really very fast, and his hand will be on the liver. So I can see nowhere there is nothing like a time waster. Always towards healing and healing others.
Yeah.
Complain.
I remember that once, when initial years when he started to come to Pune, obviously Guruji will see you and understand what kind of state of mind you are in. So little, then you would start for how are things and all that. Immediately, I'll come with my set of complaints to him. So he would say everything will be all right. Don't worry, everything will be all right. Then, I think I repeated it quite sometime, like about even on the second visit also I did. Then suddenly he said, stop complaining. Like every time you're complaining, you have to do your work, do your duties. So it was very. I couldn't understand why did he say that. Stop complaining, do your duties. But then when he said, "No, do your duties," no, for me, I got a little offended about it. I said, "Oh." Then I realized, oh, this is not the image I would like my guru to have about me being a complaint box. So immediately I pulled his hand and I took off. Made a promise to him, I'm not going to complain to you, and so you're going to see a new person. And he didn't bother, like he perhaps he knew, I think. So maybe he wished internally. He didn't say that, so he must have wished. He must have granted that wish to me because I could see the impact after that. Then for बोल दिया, promise तो बोल दिया Guruji that I will not complain. Now at the house, even if you tell something, as a feedback, something is not working, my brother and Venki will bounce back to me saying that, "Ali, you gave promise to Guruji and you are complaining." So, it took me some time to understand giving feedback is not a complaint. Complaint and feedback mein farak hai. So then I would struggle. I would immediately go into my, what is this? Again, I'm complaining. But my father, amazing, like, he came to that point of time, my parents moved in to our place, and I remember talking to my dad saying that, I had given Guruji promise that I will never complain. So then my father, he pulled out one saying for me. He used to have it inside his cupboard. That saying. He says, "What others speak of you is not important. What you speak of others speaks volume about yourself." So he says. So he was saying that it's about what you speak. So then it made me to introspect, like saying that complaint to okay, even if you have complained with somebody, I can pretend by not giving that highlight, but complaining within myself, that is between my 2 ears, my thoughts, how am I going to um, control that? How am I going to bring a change in that? Because that alteration is more important than expressing outside. Then that's where I with, of course, my mother would always tell one thing is, always take the right things, look at the right things, good things from people, don't highlight the so don't highlight the wrong aspects of people. That's how only then you can help your relationship grow, whether it's your friend circle, whether it's your colleagues, or whether it's in your family. So these guidelines were amazing. Like, it taught me a lot. They used to tell before also, but when Guruji came into our life, even our parents, the values which parents used to tell also accelerated. It started. We started it internalizing it. Those guidelines. Then then I realized that if I have to overcome complaint, then I asked what's the reason I'm complaining. Somewhere, if you see by nature, I look for a lot of perfection in interior, perfection in your clothes, perfection in your cooking. So there I brought some change. Like, I said it's okay when things are not going okay. I would say it's fine. It's so somewhere that perfection attitude, I reduced a bit, because that was that it starts from there. That my complaint starts from there. And I learned the other thing is, how about being solution oriented. When there is a complaint, okay, what is the solution I can bring forward to you know address that complaint? I have that. Now the complaint is cropped in my mind, but how can I address it without complaining? So bringing solutions. So I started cultivating, giving solutions to people. How about doing it this way? Maybe this could be better and all that. So it was a challenge initially, but then when I started telling my environment, like my parents, like and my friends and all, that I had promised my guru that I will not be complaining. So they became my what do you say? They started holding on to accountability. They became my accountability partners, rather. And they would say, what is this? Then that's where I found out, oh, some aspects complaint, some aspects it's feedback. So even feedback also can sound as complaint, but it is not so. So then the confidence, when I talk about feedback and complaint, this came for me. I got very convinced about it when Venki and my brother, they will never leave any chance to Guruji to complain about me. Okay. And then they say that, she's doing this, she's getting angry, she's not something they will tell. No, Guruji will say, she's always right. So when he said that she's always right, my God, my effort to address this I got more confidence. I got more confidence, and I started understanding. Yes, some aspects, some place you can give feedback. It may sound like a complaint. So Guruji, actually understood me better, and because sometimes when your over commitment, when you have too much of commitment also about people around you, about your loved ones, you can tend to go overboard. So with Guruji's guidelines, Guruji always says that, how about telling in a softer version? How about telling "theek hai tum aisa karo"? Change, rephrase your communication. So all that guidelines, actually made me very peaceful. So looking back, if anything goes wrong, or if anything, I'm really okay about it. I just take a pause button. I press the pause button and I look at it and what can I do about it? So I come up with some solution. So when this quality got inculcated, slowly I started telling myself also, we will not go back to Guruji for any problems. So that's how we started telling. Now that I think slowly, as the things we were taking charge of our life, we realized it's Guruji's guidance. we can, I mean, we needn't have to go to Guruji with our complaints, with our issues, with our, I think we should sort it out ourselves because his time is also precious. So all this understanding started coming to us.
What we got to understand very well was that the moment we complain, we are having some expectation. That's why we complain. So, in fact, Guruji says that Guru has no expectation from Sishyas. He has zero, nothing, no expectation. Something in us very regularly kept coming. He's working without any expectations. So, no expectations resulted into translation and acceptance. So, we brought into that acceptance of each and everything, place, situation, everything, even people. Then Guruji is the equation of I is equal to V by R. I found it's like a life's equation because he says our resistance is the one which keeps pulling us down. Constantly address your resistance. So once your resistance is zero, your the flow of current is infinite and your unconditional love, everything pervades. So I remember Preeti telling me and my niece to write. She used to introspect a lot and she used to also do it and she made us also do. So write resistance list. I remember we both wrote, my niece and me, niece Kashvi. We wrote a list of about 145 I wrote and she wrote about 157. Such a young kid wrote 157 resistance list. We wrote it. And we looked at so many things to address for us. So that's a very, I call it a life's equation. Guruji's I is equal to India. Because once you address it, it's constantly addressing a resistance. Wherever I'm not doing well, I'm not happy, and I need to see there is some resistance. I need to overcome that. So it's a very powerful equation which Guruji has actually endowed us with.
That formula we used to bring that formula literally in everything, even in ailment also. Sometime back I had eye issues. I remember, and I could not. The flashes. I could not see anything actually. I remember Guruji telling me, long ago that your optic nerve is weak. But when I had that, I got very scared because your eyes, right? The first thing came to me is I won't be able to do painting. I won't be able to do all those. Flashes came in front of me. And then I just calmed down and I was like, closing my eyes. And suddenly a thought came to me is this issue you will not go to Guruji. You will deal with it yourself. And then for me, like, deal with it now, it's my eye issues. So there's a fight, between your own thoughts and your instruction, which you with the guided instruction. But you won't believe that, like Guruji always says, no, if you've got any problems in life, say thank you that you got the problem because the next is you will go know to overcome that. So the first thing is when I had this eye issues, I told myself, thank you that I got this eye issues. Maybe me doing something I can help people when they get some kind of my that is my testimony could be useful for someone who's going through that. So then I started with being peaceful. Guruji always says, small guidelines like be alert, be peaceful. It's so important, instructions which Guruji gives. So first I became very peaceful. Then I started, doing meditation, Guruji's second level meditation regularly. Instead of once, I started doing 3 times. So because the anxiety was so much for me because of my eyes. I did not know any other way. Self healing also, I did, but the thoughts was not the thoughts was disturbing me. So best was doing Guruji's three meditation and of course urine having that cup immersing your eyes in the urine. All that I started to do, and I don't know whether I should share this. I was in the hospital for the checkup for the eye checkup, and I saw a young kid, very young kid with no vision, I guess, because they had put that that kid had underwent surgery. So when I was sitting in that waiting room and looking at that kid, for me it looked like Guruji asked, "Tell me between you and that kid, who needs more attention? Who needs immediate attention?" It looked like as though Guruji was questioning me. And then I told, I said the kid needs more attention. Then he asked me why. Why does the kid need? Uh, I remember telling him. It's all within my thoughts. Like at thought level, I was interacting with it. I said, for me, I have you, and you have given me all your, you made us self-sufficient, giving us all the kinds of protocol and the PHP meditation. But that kid does not have. Then he said, very good. Again, this is a very unusual, but this happened for me, And so Guruji also questions you. It's not that physically you have to be with Guruji.
In fact,
He is there with you all the time, and you better be watchful. That thought came in, better be watchful about all your thoughts, your practices, your speech, everything.
in fact, gradually what has happened is earlier days Guruji used to call us and he used to inquire about everybody. How your parents-in-law, how's your father-in-law, how's my elder sister, everybody. And some guests who had come also for eating. Then he stopped calling. We used to call him and ask him. Then he told, "Why do you want to call me? Email or WhatsApp?" So we used to email message. Then once he told, "Why do you want to message and email me also? Invoke me in meditation." So we used to think, okay, we should invoke him only in meditation. Then once traveling in a car, he told Prithi, "I do want to invoke me also. You can do it yourself. You can." So that's how empowering he is.
Not only that, he also said, "Why do you want to be dependent on me?" I mean, it's too much for a person of Guruji status to say that why you want to be dependent on me, and after 3 healings, don't come and ask for healing. And I tell you, as we are very blessed to have a Guruji like that. Since after 3 healings, it's good enough. You can manage your life. Then why do you want to invoke me and be dependent on me? He literally, and third is he says, you all can be better healers than me.
He always, Guruji's vision is, I want each one of you to be like me or even better than me.
So better
What a
than
vision
me,
it is.
that gives you the additional,
Responsibility
to upgrade yourself. So to be under the guidance of such a master, we are very thankful, to our parents, to everybody, that who brought us to Guruji.
So I had the privilege of taking Guruji to two educational institutions. Guruji always wants more people. So two educational institutions, more students. So Mumbai Educational Trust in Bombay and Kasturi Educational Trust in Pune, which is Dr. Jayashree Palande's institute. And about 150 students in Mumbai Education, 90 students here, plus faculty about 10, 15 faculty. And Guruji used to be fully equipped. You will carry the anar, you'll carry kari patta, you'll carry one bottle of water. You'll start with bottle of water. Then you'll say anar. Then you'll show carrot. He will show kari patta. He'll say this is it's like neem, better than neem, easily available than neem. So he will give this 1 hour PHP, that is used to call preventive health plan seminar, PHP seminar, preventive health plan seminar. After the seminar, Advait used to make all the faculty and students one by one, he used to see their hands. One by one, they used to stand in a queue and they used to see his hands. Now, you won't believe it, literally 1.5, 2 hours, Guruji, after the seminar, I think it went even till 1:32 in one place and 3 o'clock in another place. Every faculty's palms dekhe, unka kya hai, pura face dekhe, used to tell. I remember one incident, two incidents I'll tell you from this students. Guruji called he called me and showed, look at his hand. Where is his lifeline? So this student had no lifeline. And I could relate to it because I had a very short lifeline. So he said, okay, and then he started. After half an hour, he told me, call that student. So I went back and called that student. And he said, see his hand. I saw his hand, the line has started. The lifeline had started off. I had shared this in the group also, in the KMG group also. That was something unbelievable for me. It's a miracle. I can't even imagine. Then the second incident was in the Pune Institute. I could see, I knew my students pretty well. So I could see one student of mine was someone who's always gloomy, never smiles. He's got some issues of his own, some problems. When Guruji's seminar was going on, I could see, Guruji used to scan people. No, so I used to be next to Guruji. I used to also look at people. I could see this person was getting probably overwhelmed but restless and smiles left to right ears. So I was wondering, there's something happened. No, so and I remember Guruji saying, we also read, Guruji actually by words, by touch, by sight, by hug, he heals people. And I could see this happening with a lot of people. This was two things I could see directly, but I'm sure a lot of people he must have touched in that distance healing itself. It was a very good experience for me. That post that, Advait, we had lots of individual experiences of people. I had a good friend of mine who was a solicitor, leading solicitor in London, and she was going through severe problems, ailments, and family issues. And she used to stay in a hotel here, and uh, funny things she used to do. She used to go to the take shower, and she will not come out for 1 2 hours, and she will not know what to do. The shower will be on, she'll come out without taking bath. And in the hotel room, she used to mop the hotel room for hours together. So many such funny things. Uh, and she used to see a lot of figures. It was attacking her. So I decided, okay, Guruji could be the best person, even if it's a case of possession or ghost. And she also agreed, went to Guruji, and she met Guruji. And I could not go because she went from Pune, and I could not. Normally, we go along with most of the people. I could not go, so she went, and he gave her a healing almost 1 hour. 1 hour, she was crying through it. She was weeping. She said, "Sir, I was only crying through it." And she woke up, and Guruji told her, "We will be all right," and he sent her off. And he actually gave her time for the next time to come. But before that, she said, she called him sir, I remember. She said, "Sir, what is my fees?" Guruji said, "No fees. Go." So she was wondering, and it was like she was a bit, she was slightly offended. She said, "Sir, I wanted to give money. I have taken 1 year, 1 hour healing, and I could see some energy flowing in me." So she was a very intuitive and sensitive person, so she could see that. But he said, "No, no, go." Then she went off, and after that, she went back to London also.
She
Then
couldn't go back to London actually. She was struggling to go back to London. And after post Guruji's healing, lot of things opened for her. Like she got a lot of clarity, and then she one fine day we could get a call saying that she
she's
is
doing
on.
extremely well. She's very famous, and she's into some contest.
Now she's become recently she got to be a
Mrs.
Mrs. Universe.
Mrs. UK, Mrs. UK.
UK. Okay.
Anyway, she Guruji told this, and then in Alibag retreat, Guruji, myself, Prithi, and Anisha, few people are standing and talking. Guruji told, suddenly he told about, we also have barter system. That friend of yours who came from London, no, the solicitor. I didn't take money from her. So I said, yes, Guruji. So he said, if people come from some elevated source to me for healing, we have an understanding. We send somebody to them, they send somebody. So it's a barter system. We don't take money. So that's how we didn't take. So we wonder money is always not the factor for Guruji. Many people think Guruji is charging high, Guruji is taking money, but and Guruji always says, "I'm not. This money is for different purpose. It's for your good." Then second incident was one of my students' father had a throat cancer, so he couldn't even speak. So my friend and his father, they went to Guruji. In one healing, Guruji cleared his throat and he could speak. And he gave the time for the second healing. Unfortunately, there was rains. He used to come from Nasik to Bombay. He could not reach. So he called me and said, "Some bahut barisha, I could not go, so we didn't go." So they took a different time. By the time, I think weeks passed. Then his friend, my student called me and told that my father is not interested in going. And he said, because ऐसे healing करने से कुछ हो जाता है क्या? तो कुछ खाना है ना टैबलेट, कुछ तो खाना है, तो ऐसे हाथ रखने से क्या होता है? So he didn't want to go. So we have that kind of cases also. Then unfortunately, now Guruji ka healing, he says if you give a time and you come before time, healing starts. If you come on time, the healing is perfect, and if you come late, the healing is delayed. So if you cancel or if you postpone, either the ailment continues or sometimes even postponement might cancellation might result in death also. Unfortunately, this friends.
No punishment, not I don't know about that. Punishment.
And in this case, the friend's father could not sustain after that, despite talking well also.
Then we had one more patient, like we had taken that his belt will melt. his belt. He had that issues. He had
Acidity, severe acidity.
he had spent a lot of money to doctors and
He's gone to all the
did
famous
lot.
doctors in Bombay, everywhere. He has consulted neurosurgeons, kidney specialists. He used to come from home, from Kalyan to Bandra, and by the time he reaches, his belt will melt, literally. And he used to be feeling uncomfortable, sweating, and heat, severe heat. He tried all Ayurvedic, everything. I think when Guruji came to Mumbai Education Trust, he was also one of them who went and met Guruji, got his healing, and he's in fact written in that one small book of Guruji's Orange Book. He's written his testimony how he has completely healed himself of that. Guruji's uses for Guruji's 3 years.
Then one more thing was Guruji wanted once called me and said, you have to go and meet this patient. She's got a tumor in her brain. So if you don't go and heal her, she may not survive. So in fact, Guruji is so committed. He said he said, please you should go and I'll just go and heal her. So then I said, and she stays in the other part of Pune, the other side of Pune. And I said, okay, Guruji, I'll go and meet her and heal her. Then I went, I think 3 times I went to her house, did the healing, and then she became she was very happy that Guruji sent someone for her and all that. She was a severe arthritis patient, young girl, young girl of about 27 years, and she cannot walk properly. She cannot walk, and she has difficulty in walking. And but she was also very enterprising girl. She was working also, but her after coming to Guruji, lot of changes happened. Like she became very active and all that. But suddenly one after this call, after this 3 healings, and then I told Guruji, I've already, and I mean I did my healing, and should I what next? He said, no, no problem. You be there. I mean it's okay. Now she'll be taken care. Then I remember. About Uma.
Maybe
Yeah,
auto.
yeah. What I wanted to say is, every time I went to her house, the auto I used to travel, the auto guy also used to be very different. Like talk about only spiritual things and all that. They would ask me questions. All the 3 times I met 3 different people, and they would talk about all this as they will question me a lot of things as though I am like no, I'm the master of. And I used to wonder, but it used to be a nice ride because one is it takes about an hour or so plus to reach that place. While coming back, Venki used to from office used to come and pick me up, and then casually these 3 things happened. These 3 times, 3 different author guys with 3 different, I mean, all talking of spirituality. Then I remember my friend who was staying there and said, "Oh, you came all the way here and you did not come to my place." I said, "No, I came for healing." Then anyway, it is close by only, no. So I'll come sometime to meet you. She said, "What close by? It's very far. I don't want you to spend. You tell me when you're free. You let me know. We'll catch up. Like we'll come over to your place." So I said, "Okay, what costly? It's only to 150, 200 rupees now." After that, I think that conversation came from my friend about distance, money, and all, because to make me understand that actually the place from the place where I'm staying, Vimanagar, to that place will cost about at least 450, I believe. I did not know this. Still, this friend told me. And now looking at that time, like I was arguing with her. No, 3 times I went, it's only 150, 200, not beyond that. He said, so what are you talking? I stay in that place and we keep traveling. We come to airport very often. So we know the price. It's nothing less than 400, 450. So then I realized Guruji actually takes care of us so in so many ways. He never that's the Guruji's way of sending those 3 auto people. Guruji's way of you know making us spend less money because we are doing something good for somebody else. Guruji is there always. That's what in short I want to tell.
So all the time, Guruji comes home and he tells from phone also. He always tells Preeti only to him, whether it is healing my mother-in-law, father-in-law, anybody else, whether it's Kashmi is healing or like Uma. See, I used to always wonder, मैं जाके गुरुजी के साथ every time I go to Bombay, I meet him and every opportunity I get, I go meet him. Guruji has never told me for years. I was wondering. So I was wondering what is probably I'm not doing well equipped to do healing. So I used to wonder that. Once one of my friend, very young guy, just 27 years, he had falciparum malaria, the same thing which Preeti had. His RBC infestation was only 2%, and Preeti's was 8%. And he was admitted in JG hospital. So I'd gone to the hospital with a friend, and I was seeing him, and he was into dialysis also. Kidney failed, liver was also not functioning, so dialysis. So I called up Guruji from there. And when I called Guruji, so Guruji asked me his name, what is the ailment. He told me heal his liver and heal blood cleaning, do blood cleaning. And then I did that. About 15 minutes, 10 minutes, I stayed with him. I did the blood cleaning, I did the liver healing, and then hugged him and came out. He was very happy, smiled, said, "Thank you so much," and he came out. And uh, around 2 o'clock in the night, 2 a.m. in the night, I get a call from his elder brother saying that he's passed away. He's just passed away. So it put me into a lot of discomfort. First time I'm healing somebody after thinking this person, unfortunately. And he was a colleague of mine. He was handling operations with me. And Preethi's RBC infestation 8%. I was breaking my head. Now I am in the RBC infestation, she survived. Unfortunately, Guruji, this person could not survive. So once I was discussing this with one of the KMGs, that when I say Kia and the person died. So the KMG gave me a very good. He says Guruji uses many of us, like we are all like hotspots. Like Guruji uses many of us to even make others transition easy and peaceful. So that's how your healing probably made him transit peacefully to the next level. So I got a understanding of that. And in fact, two of Preeti's uncles also, Preeti had gone there 1 week before there. And that was also like suddenly she made a plan.
And, this happened to me first. It happened is with Vinita, my neighbor's kid. I was mentioning, right? So suddenly one day she called me and she said she called me. I went to her room. I saw she was surrounded by a lot of her relatives there, and she said, "Auntie, I'm feeling very cold. I don't know, something is happening to me. Can you help me?" So then I don't know, out of the blue, who guided or how I could do that. I just did one affirmations. Like we have in Brahma Vidya, we have one first affirmations, where that first affirmations actually makes your heats your body. So I said, okay, Vinita, you close your eyes, because I know she's good in visualization and she can eat a McDonald burger, in visualization. That I said, okay, you close your eyes, and she did not even do the breath. I just run the affirmations for her. And end of the affirmation, she felt her body got heated up, and immediately she said, please switch on the fan. And not only that, she from the spine, she took a, so trickling her sweat, showing to me, see, auntie, I'm really sweating like anything. So this is something I saw with Dr. Prabhu, when after doing the breath, he would show that trickling of sweat due to that breath. So then after that, she be moved to the front room, and she was sitting there. She was not allowing me to go that day. And I said, okay, I was there with her, catching her hand and all that. And all her relatives had come that day, because she was not keeping okay that day, especially. So then out of the blue, I told her, Vinita, you pray to Baba, because she likes Baba. So I pray to Baba, tell her to forgive yourself for whatever you had done in the past. Again, I'll tell you, Advaitji, I'm not into any kind of I have no clue about such things should be told and all that. But I told her, I told Vinita. So and she immediately, she closed her eyes and she said, she prayed and she said, Auntie, I told all the gods, all gurus to forgive me. I said, very good. Actually, I was spending time with her. Then it got slightly, I think, up to 6:37, and that happens to be the Mother's Day. So I had to take my mother out. So I had promised my mother to take her out for dinner. So till 7, I was there with her, and then I just left without even telling her. Then we went and had dinner, and we got back. That time, the aunt, one of her aunt came. When I came back, she said, Vinita is no more. She said, I was like, I said, what are you talking, Vinita? She said, yeah, Vinita is no more. Moment you left her, in just I think 3-4 minutes ke baad, she passed away. Now they have taken her to the hospital to do the final exam. That was one incident. I did not give the. Yeah, one more thing is after when we used to have issues, at that point we had a relationship issue as we mentioned before. I used to see the kid coming and telling me, Auntie, everything will be all right. Oh, but uncle is very nice. Everything will be all right. She would always, I could sense her telling me that.
She had no idea of what was going on with us. She's just 16
Nothing.
years. That's why I said she was a very divine kid. She was Guruji's messenger, according to us.
Yeah, so she would say that. uh, This happened even after she passed away, also. She would say the same thing, everything will be all right. And don't be sad, everything will be all right. That was one incident, and then the same thing happened to my both uncles. Like one is my mother's sister's husband. So we were supposed to travel on a particular date, and we told them that we are coming that date only to Bangalore. But suddenly, I don't know what happened. We advanced our trip 1 week. We said, no, no, you should go and heal him. So I just followed. I told Venkat, but by then Venkat also, since we are in sync, he understood that. He said, okay, you go, you book. He booked my tickets, and I went to Bangalore. I did the healing for him. I spent a lot of time, and I also got to know the date, the time he is going to leave. So we did that, and I left. Correctly on the same date, he passed away. And again, my mother's brother, for him also it happened the same thing. So I was telling Venki, something is there about death, and that go and heal them. So then we remember Guruji telling us that any of your loved ones, like when we take healing, it's not only for us, it's also for our extended family also. At that point, I could realize only after these 3 incidents which happened, and when I reflected back, how come it's happening to me? Suddenly, I felt, what is now? I got very scared. Like, what is it? Like, if somebody is unwell, if I go, what happens that time? Then this point we could get that, Guruji uses as a messenger for people to be healed. That's why he in fact he tells us, if any of your loved ones, any of your family member passes away, please tell us, please inform us. So
He says, please inform us, our people will be there to guide them.
guide them.
So,
So Guruji is there throughout for us, for all of us, all our KMGians.
Wonderful, wonderful.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I had in 2017, in the month of June, something on my legs, on the right leg skin. It was a severe aberration, red color, and it used to, the pus used to come in. I had no pain, and Guruji always says, pain. If there is pain, it's good. If you don't have pain, it's not good. And I didn't have itching, also no irritation, but it was. Forget touching it, you can't even look at it. It was very gory, very bad sight. And fortunately, unfortunately, we didn't go to the skin specialist, and I was very clear we will not go on shoulders to Guruji. But I frequent Bombay, so whenever I go to Bombay, I meet Guruji. So when I went to Guruji once, sitting there opposite the chair opposite to Guruji, Guruji came by the side and suddenly said, "What has happened?" So he looked at this. I said, "Guruji, kuch nahi ho raha hai." He looked at this. He says, "Be careful. This is cancer in your liver, astral, and it is. If it's." He told me 2 things. He says, "If it spreads, it's very bad. If it vanishes, also it's very bad because it will manifest somewhere else." So and he actually sat opposite to me and prescribed me no oil. I didn't take healing, but he said no oil, no non-veg, no mutton, chicken, even fish only boiled. And I remember my Prithi and my mother-in-law, they used to make oilless dosa to me. Then he also said, I asked him, can I have ghee? He says ghee is worse for liver, don't even touch it. So he gave a prescription of this, of course, the juice protocol. And I got, that was June, August, I sent him the mail. He asked me, send me the photograph. So I took a click and sent it across in August 2017. Then in 2018, we had Alibag meet, January. And when I went to the January, he asked Alibag meet, the first day he asked me, show me a leg. And I had got healed by that time. Now, he said, now you can eat your, my favorite was fish fry. You can eat fish fry, you can have it. The reason I'm telling this is, I have written this in Amritdhara also. Guruji gives us the three healings, 60%, 10%, and 5%, 75%. And then remaining 25% for us to do self-healing and preserve and sustain and maintain it through protocols and etc. juices. So he has given his part. He says that I've taken it to the pure stage, the zero state, that birth stage where all your chakras are opened up. So now you have to maintain it. Now, the reason I'm saying in 2017 is happening somewhere I have not maintained. I used to travel a lot and I used to here and there skip many things, many of the protocols. So if we don't follow, then that's where this protocol is for life. This simple protocol of Janiti, 1 liter water, juices like anar being your first line of defense, carrot being your first line of defense, anar juice for then coconut water for aura cleaning as well as for urinary things. He says three systems are very important. He says 40% is digestion, 30% is respiratory, 30% is urinary system. So for the 40%, anar juice takes care of most of it. The respiratory things, Jalniti takes care of. And Jalniti being a salty water also takes care of your aura. Same with coconut water, it being having a little bit of salt content, it also takes care of your aura. And coconut water is elixir, divine it is. In fact, I remember speaking to Guruji in Hyderabad retreat. We had coconut water and then we were all went to the urine, came back. Guruji says, oh, coconut water is a side effect. We get too much of urine. So I told Guruji, that Guruji, for me, coconut water is such a divine thing. I used to, everything which we eat or drink, it goes down. For me, coconut water goes up to my brain. It clears and declutters everything. And I feel coconut water is very divine for me. So that's the reason I said about the liver, because once if you don't maintain the protocol, sustain and maintain the protocol, then you are up to something, then we need to again go back to ground zero.
Even in fact, that liquid used to smell.
Yeah, that it used
Which
to be.
was oozing out, used to smell also.
It was not painful nor irritation, but smell and the sight was not bad. But fortunately, in 6 months' time, it went out. And thank God. See, the reason I'm saying this is, I didn't show this to Guruji. Guruji saw it. For me, the way I look at it is, the moment Guruji saw, my healing started. And that's how I think I could get healed in 6 months. Otherwise, people are saying, go to a skin specialist, show it to some specialist. There is somebody who came to our house who told, anything red has got to do with heart. So your weak heart is there, please go. So I used to also feel, because Guruji has told me I've got a leaking in my heart. So then moment Guruji comes into the picture for me, now though I don't ask Guruji, for me, if moment Guruji says I'm taken care, that's good enough. It's just that I need to follow the protocol. So it was easy within 6 months. Otherwise, liver and all, most of them feel. I have a congenital liver issue, but with following that protocol and this do's and don'ts.
No, that is because you should also mention, that's because you're the 8th child and your mother.
I'm the 8th child of a mom, and Guruji always says the last kid, the blood gets impure for the mother. So the 8th kid will be slightly having issues like that. So for me, a lot of that liver issues and even breathlessness and all, I used to have asthma now. I think all that is history after Guruji now, because headache, asthma. I think now we don't really feel like asking anything to Guruji. In fact, I don't ask Guruji for, earlier we used to ask small things about jobs, careers, then business, finances, or then health issues. Today you don't feel like asking anything. I think Guruji is done enough for us to take it forward. If probably anything, we need to just think about asking, when is our moksha? That's it. That's about it.